Open line, Chuck Long here with Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm. We were talking about the experience you guys have. I mean, over 34 years of handling cases. You guys, 3 firms, so many experts. And that's the other thing, though, that I just wanted to mention. It's a big deal when someone comes to you guys because you've got so many experts in so many different areas. Because if we can tell from the callers tonight, there's just a wide range of questions.
And, you know, I love, if a bankruptcy, I know many general themes, but I have a guy that does bankruptcies day and night and day, lives, breathes. My paralegals, they're very, very skilled, and I can trust them. If I was against the wall and I said, hey, what do you say? They'll give me the answer, and I can lean on them. A lot of years experience, and that's the power of the team. You know, earlier, Chuck, I almost cried. This is the first, I've been doing this show 8 years. When that woman touched us about that injustice, it almost brought a tear to my eye, and I appreciate that call. You know, you and I were talking. Someday, somebody's got to stand up. It almost makes me cry again, even when I think about it. So I salute those lawyers that are fighting every day, and some of them will stand up and fight to the dirt. So I'm singing their praises, and I'm grateful for those that will stand in the gap for others.
Well, it does make a big, big difference. We do appreciate the calls tonight, and we're going back to the lines right now. Gene is on the line with us. Gene, good evening. Thanks for your patience. And do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
All righty.
Before my mother passed away, she did a quit claim to me for her house, and she held a life estate.
Okay.
What do I need to file other than a death certificate?
Yes. Well, it's called operation at law. When that quitclaim deed went in, and when she passed away, by law, you've already taken it because she gave you all interest she had. She had the life estate, and when she passed away, that ended. So that right there settles the issue.
All right, so we do appreciate that call, and again, makes a lot of sense. Are there particular kinds of cases that you see more of than others? Because I was just thinking, we've had so many topics, so many different calls on so many different subjects tonight. Is there in particular the one? You
know, realistically, it's the relationships, it's the domestic situations, husband and wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, and out of that, and if you multiply alcohol or some kind of illegal drug, it's a formula for disaster. And so we see that all day, every day. You go to any court in any county, just sit in the audience, and it'll be one right after another about domestic disputes, civil and criminal.
Well, and if you do have some of those questions, again, we don't have a lot of time left in this show, but if you do have one of those questions or comments, this is the expert. It's Ask the Expert, Ask the Attorney. Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm. We were talking a little bit earlier, and of course the number is right there on your screen. We were talking earlier about reasons that you hire a lawyer.
Yep.
And one of these, not having a lawyer may actually cost you more.
It will. Yeah. So, you know, one of my lawyers had worked previously at a wealth management law firm where they only represented the millionaires and multi-millionaires. I remember asking her, I said, what did you learn by being in that experience? She said, the richest people hire the best lawyers. The richest people hire the best accountants. So I take that, and I've shared that for many years, and I believe that. They will pay for themselves. You can get into it with the IRS, and they say, okay, you owe us $300,000. Wait a minute. You get a skilled lawyer, and they can lay it out, and they say, no, 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 this is, and they come back, zero tax earned. I don't care if you paid that lawyer thousands. He still saved you money. And so if a lawyer, they can hire a lawyer just a little amount of money, and they can talk to the police and divert that situation away, show it's a misunderstanding, then you saved money, because if they charge you gigantic bond, then big attorney's fees, then big agony. So if it was my son, my daughter, my children, same thing I teach them is what I'm teaching you. Get that lawyer. It'll save you all the grief. The older you get, you can't really wrestle with all these problems. They will worry you to death. You can't sleep. I hear that all the time. Kevin, this is driving me. I said, well, then leave it to us. Let us worry about it, and then we'll tell you when the decisions we got to make. I am totally convinced that there is an answer and a solution to every problem. One of my great clients is a multimillionaire. He says, Kevin, I don't have any problems. I've got some challenges. I said, I like a guy like you. Let's go get him.
There you go. All right, we're going back to the lines right now. Misty is on the line with us. Misty, we're glad you called in this evening. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Misty,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
We're glad to hear from you.
Yes, I want to know, the Publishing Clearinghouse is going to give prize tomorrow, and if you win, do you need an attorney too before you sign any papers?
Well, that's a great question. If a person, I didn't catch all of it, but yes, before I signed a whole lot of papers, you know, guess what? We have people send these contracts over to the law firm. These contracts are this thick. Hello, come in. You gotta be a legal dictionary to understand. And then when you get into the problems, what about this paragraph contradicts this paragraph? Well, when you sign it, you live with it. So yes, I really want you to read it and know it, especially if it gets into a big deal, because that creates a misunderstanding. And one of the smartest men I ever knew, he used to preach this: a good understanding keeps down a misunderstanding. A good understanding, what does this mean? We cannot have both these paragraphs because they are in conflict. And lawyers write that so they can dance in the gray areas to whose benefit? Whichever side they're on.
All right, again, makes a lot of sense. We do appreciate the call, Misty. And you know, we were talking about the evidence a little bit earlier,
yes,
and how much, you know, whether you have too much or not enough.
Yes.
This is nothing. Lawyers know how to challenge,
yes,
the evidence. That's what's so important about getting a lawyer.
Yes. We had a case recently, and the guy came in and he legitimately had a case, but he didn't have a lawyer, and I represented a businessman, and we chopped that case. I said, Judge, he can't represent this corporation. He owns a corporation. He can't do it. And that was the end of the case. We got up. And of course, if you had me as your lawyer, all you want to do is say, Kevin, get it dismissed. Kevin, get it dismissed. And so that's the real world. That's the way the rules are played. And we have to learn the rules, know the rules, play by the rules. And preparation, preparation, preparation. They'll make a difference in your life.
Well, and what about some of the callers earlier this evening that were asking about in a possible auto accident, someone bumps you from behind?
Yes, yes.
What happens when you don't have the witnesses? Or
Golly, they take advantage of you, because the insurance company, first off, they're going to say, I'm going to take a little tape record statement. Are you hurt? Well, not really. And then all of a sudden, 2 or 3 days later, golly, my neck is killing me. You go to bed, this arm falls asleep. Well, that's nerve damage. So you go through, you're treated for a period of time, and then I'll guarantee you that tape is coming back. You said that you weren't hurt right after, and you try to explain away, well, I didn't realize that, and I didn't want to make a big deal. But we have a legitimate material fact that's in dispute. So your good lawyer, he can be buffaloed, he can be bullied, or he can do a little bit charging himself. And when two reasonable minds reach each other, usually that's why 99% of all cases are settled. A master negotiator. He knows the weaknesses and knows the strength. You hammer our strengths, stay away from the weaknesses.
And Kevin, in just about the final 30 seconds, one thing that you said earlier this evening is so important. When something happens to somebody, the thing they should do is call the lawyer, not start talking to other people.
Absolutely, unequivocally, get to the lawyer first. On any kind of problem. I'm totally convinced. I spent my life trying to do that, and I'm spending this time with this TV show since I've been here of trying to teach you. There's an old saying, loose lips sink ships. And how many people that are charged and they say, well, I didn't know I didn't have to talk. I didn't know that I could stop them from taking a DNA from me. I didn't know that I didn't have to give them a blood. I didn't know I don't have to blow the breathalyzer, because when that evidence is taken, you're giving them evidence against you.
All right, great to know. Okay, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll give the information on if you need to contact the Kennedy Law Firm, how you go about doing that. You're watching Open Line.